In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Luke Skywalker Imperial Light Cruiser from The Mandalorian. Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bosk's Bounty video. And as I mentioned in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. And you can see there in the name pill under the words Luke Skywalker, you've got Imperial Light Cruiser in brackets, which when this figure was first announced, I thought was a little bit weird, I've got to say. I think they could have called it The Rescue, because I think that was the episode that this scene is from. This is, of course, based on the Luke Skywalker from the end of Season 2 of The Mandalorian, when he turned up and gave it to the Dark Troopers, which was an awesome thing to see. I'm sure most Star Wars fans absolutely loved that episode, and this is the figure from it. So we're going to take a quick look at the card back before we open up the figure, and there you can see the image there with the green lightsaber, really sort of moody image there. Now, one of my buddies called Harry did point out that he thinks that they've photoshopped Luke's face on that image there, because I think at this point you don't see his face. You know, his hood's basically covering him. They don't want you to see Luke Skywalker at that point. They want to sort of keep the mystery going, but I think we all knew it as Luke Skywalker at that point. But I'm pretty sure that they've kind of sort of ghosted in Luke Skywalker's face there. I'm not too sure if that's true or not, but I think he's right. I don't think at that point you actually saw Luke Skywalker's face. There you go, as I mentioned, the Luke Skywalker with Imperial Light Cruiser in the name pill on that orange. And we've got Kenner at the bottom, and we've got the Mandalorian logo there. And there he is in the bubble, looking pretty smart. Dressed in all black with a black cloak as well, which is pretty cool. On the back of the card, you have the rest of the figures from the wave, which I will be reviewing over the next few days. Patreon supporters and channel members will probably get those videos early. He's VC264 in the line. You've got the Vintage Collection logo there. And that's about it, really. Pretty cool looking card back. I'm loving the green lightsaber. Always like the green lightsaber. And when we take a look at the figure as well, I'm going to sort of do a very quick comparison against the Luke Jedi Knight to see what parts they've used from that figure. But I think I'm going to do an actual comparison video by itself to really sort of get into the nitty gritty of the differences between the two figures. And I may even use the lightsaber construction Luke Skywalker in that video as well. So we've got 3 of them to compare. But there are some different parts on this figure, and we're going to get him out now and check him out. All right then, so here he is out of the packaging, and I just wanted to get him in a quick pose with some other figures. This is a scene that I've wanted to recreate for ages now. We've got the Dark Trooper. This is the battle damaged Dark Trooper, and now I've got the Luke Skywalker to go with it from The Mandalorian, from that end scene of the finale of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I just wanted to show you very quickly the sort of things that you can do with this guy. And now we'll take a look at the figure itself. Okay then, so here he is in like a action pose, if you like, and he looks awesome. I'm loving this figure already. It's a brilliant figure, and it is different to the Jedi Knight Luke, at least from the waist down as well, which I will go into in a bit. In this video, I'll just give you a sort of a rundown of what I think's new on the figure. Just want to quickly show you the accessories that you do get. So you do get an unlit lightsaber as well, which is exactly the same one that came with the Jedi Knight Luke. And you also get the blaster as well, the Palace blaster, which they seem to like including with these Lukes. So I don't recall him using that in The Mandalorian, but it's still nice to get one of those as a spare, and it's nicely detailed. It's got a sort of a gold bronze handle and a bit of silver on there as well. So not bad detail on that blaster. You also get the lit lightsaber, which he's holding there, and his Jedi robes as well, which look very similar to the Jedi Knight robes as well, but black. I think they're black anyway. They look black to me. Someone said that they're really dark brown, but to me they look black. But we're going to take those robes off in a second so we can really see the figure. Okay then, and here is the figure without the robe on, so we can get a good look at the figure and think about what's new on this figure. And I'm pretty sure anything below the waistline there seems to be new for me. So he has new legs. I don't think I've seen those legs used before. He has the splits at the thigh on the legs, which the Jedi Knight figure did not have. I'm pretty sure of that. He does have this soft goods, which is very similar to the soft goods on the Jedi Knight Luke figure. But this part here that's sculpted in from the belt is different. He didn't have the buckle on the previous version, and these bits that drape down here, these plastic bits here, were different on that version as well. The top half does look very, very similar. It just seems that this is a repaint, or the Jedi Knight version is painted grey, these bits here, with the black bit underneath. I'll just bring that figure in next to him so you can see them side by side, and then you can decide for yourself if I'm right on, you know, which bits are new and which bits aren't. So there you go, there they are side by side. And as I mentioned, this piece here, which drapes down, is definitely different to that. You can see that his belt is completely different as well. We've got the belt buckle on this one, you don't have it on that one. And the legs are completely different as well. His trousers are a lot more baggy above the boot compared to his skinny legs on this one. As I say, this one does not have the split at the thigh, which this guy does. This guy also has the rocker ankles, whereas this figure doesn't. So a massive improvement from the waist down. But as you can see from the waist up, I'm pretty sure that that piece is exactly the same. The upper torso is the same. The arms are the same. The head sculpt looked to me to be the same, except obviously they've painted his hair a darker brown, whereas on this guy it's a very sort of blonde hairstyle, isn't it? So I'd actually think that if you did the head swap on this one, you know, that colour hair would probably match what he looked like in Return of the Jedi. I always felt that the blonde hair of the Return of the Jedi Luke didn't sort of match how he looked in Return of the Jedi. So there you go, there they are side by side, and now we're going to take a really close-up look at the new Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. And just quickly before we look at the figure, I did just want to look at the lightsabers to compare those. So the one on the right is the Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, and the one on the left is from the new Mandalorian Luke Skywalker, and you can see they've improved the blade. You can see on this one it's thin from the bottom right to the tip, whereas this one, I never really know what to call that, but it's a, you know, the plastic's all jaggedy and everything, and I much prefer this newer version here on the left. Okay then, so let's get a close-up look at the figure here. So there's the head sculpt with the photo reel. As I said, it's the same head sculpt and hairpiece as the Jedi Knight from Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. They've just painted it brown. And, you know, I think they've always struggled with Mark Hamill, if I'm honest. But, you know, this one isn't too far off. It's not too bad. But if you compare it to something like, you know, Fennec Shand or Bo-Katan, where they've absolutely nailed it completely, I think they always struggle with Mark a little bit. And there's that upper torso that I mentioned, exactly the same as the previous figure. And then we get down, there's that belt, which is new. This bit is a soft plastic, so it bends up, and you've got his sort of soft goods underneath there. There's the split at the thighs. I'll go through the articulation in a second for you, but I just wanted to give you a good look at the figure. And there's his trousers from the sides. The knee hinge is hidden by the trouser, which is quite good. On the back of the figure, you've once again got this soft vinyl plastic here, and then the soft goods underneath. Now what I would say is the waist is so loose, you can almost see the joint there. Really, really loose, that joint there, but closer look up. So yeah, that's not too bad. Sometimes it looks like him, other times I don't know. That doesn't look too great there, does it? But there, I think that's a pretty good likeness. That's a good one there. All right, in terms of the articulation, the head is on a ball hinge as per usual. He has the ball hinge shoulders. They go all the way around, no problem. He has the hinge at the elbow, hinge at the wrist with the swivel. As I mentioned, that is super loose. He doesn't have a split at the upper torso, so there is no sort of crunching going on. It literally is just a spin. From what I can tell, he doesn't have the new barbell hips, but those hinges are really good. You can get loads of motion with those. And there's that split at the upper thigh that I mentioned before. He has the hinge at the knee, hidden by the plastic for the trouser, which is good. And he has the new rocker ankle as well. Just going to look at those peg holes. They look absolutely terrible. They don't even look like they've been formed properly, to be honest. So anyone that likes peg holes, you're not going to like this figure in that respect. So there he is. That's the new Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. I'm just going to get him in one more pose with his robes on so you can check him out again, and then we'll end the video. All right then, guys. So there you go. That is Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like down below because it really does help the video and the channel. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button for future videos. I will be reviewing all of the figures from this wave over the next week. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support is always very much appreciated. Thank you so much, guys, and we shall see you on the next one.